the Team Fortress 2 Iceberg Explained Part 2. Hello everyone, and today I'm going to be making a Part 2 to the Team Fortress 2 Iceberg. Now if you haven't seen Part 1, I recommend you go and check it out, as it took me a very long time to make. Anyway, in Part 1 I said that if the video got to 20 likes I would make a Part 2, and, well, the video got 20 likes. Anyway, before I start, I just want to thank everyone who supported me in Part 1. The video took me a long time, and to see it get a lot of positive comments makes me really happy. So, let's get into Part 2. Final Combat. Final Combat is a Chinese ripoff of TF2. It only takes one look at the cover art to know that this is a ripoff. They got the big guy with the minigun, the sniper, a guy with a helmet over his eyes, they got the guy who loves fire, and they got a clown over here, which probably represents the people who made this game. Anyway, this is just another one of those low budget games filled to the brim with ads. OWN. OWN is a group in these SFM animations called Cult of Personalities, made by Lone Wolf HBS. The animations are almost 10 years old and they really do look good. I recommend you go and check out the channel. Projectile Aimbot. Projectile Aimbot is an aimbotting software that will allow you to hit any enemy perfectly with any sort of projectile. It is mostly used by players using a huntsman or playing a soldier. Anyway, using any sort of aimbot in any sort of game is a really childish thing to do and will just make you look like a clown. So if you're thinking of using an aimbot, don't. Sniper and Administrator are married. Now, in-game, Sniper and the Administrator are not married, but the voice actor for Sniper, John Patrick Lowe, and the voice actor for the Administrator, Ellen McLean, are married in real life. Fortress Forever. Fortress Forever is a source mod based on Team Fortress. The game is mostly the same as Team Fortress Classic. Just so you know, this game was released 1 month before TF2 was. However, the community is pretty much dead and no one really plays this game anymore. Possibly due to the fact that TF2 came out 1 month later. TF2 Classic. TF2 Classic is a game where every scrapped thing in TF2 is put into this game. Stuff like the civilian and the nail gun are notable additions. Amplifier and Catapult. The Amplifier is a model from Engineer Fake, which will make any team member near it shoot critical hits. The Catapult was a catapult featured in leaked footage of staging. Please forgive me, I'm just European. Please forgive me, I'm just European was a phrase that was written on a sign held by Danish YouTuber Thalish. The sign says, "I'm sorry, I'm not good. I apologize for my ego. Please forgive me, I'm just European." Now, what did Thalish do? Well, I've heard different answers, but the most common one was that he got banned from TF2 for a year. Meet the Medic Outtakes. There were some outtakes from Meet the Medic. It was originally going to show the creation of the medic gun and not the medic itself. It also shows us that the medic gun stuff is made from all this stuff here. Now, I'm not sure if this is actually canon to the game, but it is still fun to watch. World War I propaganda posters. Okay, so I mentioned this in part 1, but I'll say it again. There was a contest to see who would make the best propaganda poster of either the soldier or the demo man. It was made in conjunction with the war update that was released somewhere around 2010. The soldier ended up winning, and this is the poster. It was made by Jay Axer. Because he won, Valve gave him a hat called the Dapper Topper, which is 3 hats stacked on top of each other with a 1 ribbon on it, indicating that he won the contest. Open Fortress. According to the description on the Open Fortress website, Open Fortress is a free community-developed Team Fortress 2 mod that introduces new game modes, characters, weapons, maps, and more to the world of TF2. Over 100 community contributors have combined their creativity and innovation with the iconic mid-century aesthetic of TF2 and the gameplay features of classic arena shooters, delivering a truly unique spin on one of the most popular multiplayer shooters of all time. Taking a look at some of the images, it looks to be kinda like Team Fortress 2 cross Counter-Strike. It looks pretty fun. If this video gets to 20 likes, I'll do a video where I play Open Fortress, cause it really does look fun. Hitboxes are broken. So a lot of people believe that the hitboxes in TF2 are broken. Now taking a look at this screenshot shows us that there's something going on with the hitboxes, especially with the shorter and wider classes. Now I've never really had a problem with the hitboxes, but hey, I've only been playing for 2 years and only have 300 hours on the game, so maybe I should leave this opinion to the more experienced players. Pyro game theory. So a while ago, Game Theory made a video trying to work out the Pyro's gender. Now I won't spoil the video here, so I'll leave you to go and watch it. However, the answer may make you a bit angry, but you gotta remember, it's just a theory. A game theory. Real life locations of maps. There are some places in the real world that do look like they're straight out of TF2. In fact, if you put the name of a TF2 map on Google Maps, you'll probably find something that looks like it's out of TF2. FemScout fandom. So in part 1, I mentioned that there are female versions of the TF2 mercs. FemScout seems to be the most popular of them. I can't really find a clear answer on why she is so popular. Maybe it's her personality, maybe it's the fact that Scout was the first mercenary, or maybe there's another reason why FemScout is so popular. Team Fortress 2 Beta. Team Fortress 2 Beta was a beta version of TF2 that you could get if you had TF2 Premium. Yeah, there was a premium version of TF2 that you had to pay for. It would give you stuff like rare items and cosmetics if you actually bought it. However, TF2 Premium was shut down in 2013 and now no one has access to TF2 Beta anymore. ZE_Santa Assassination. ZE_Santa Assassination is a mod where you and your team have to make it through a map and kill the evil Santa Claus. It is mostly used in CSGO, but it can also be used in TF2 as well. One-of-a-kind items. So one-of-a-kind items is a category for items that are really, really, really rare. And by really, 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 really rare, I mean only one person has them. These items are Amber's Rad as Hell hat, the Gifting Man from Gifting Land, Philatler, Doula, J Axer's Dapper Topper, Top Notch, and Uncle Sam. Painted weapons. So you can paint weapons in TF2, however some weapons can't be painted, such as the Cow Mangler, but people have found a way that you can paint these items. Tradable stock weapons. So there is a way you can trade the stock weapons in TF2. All you need to do is get a name tag and then rename the item, and boom, you can trade a stock weapon. Sketcheck faked his own death. Sketcheck was a popular TF2 YouTuber who played as Pyro. However, one day he died, or so we thought. He then started this entire ARG around his death. He then came out saying that he was alive and well, and people were not happy about this. Well, some of them were happy. You see, people were mad because he faked his own death, but on the other side, people were happy that he was alive and started this entire cool ARG on this. Now, if you want the full story, I recommend you check out Sunny V2's video on Sketcheck. Machine Attacks. Machine Attacks is a story-based game mode in TF2, cut into 16 episodes. It is kinda like Man vs. Machine, except it actually presents the storyline in TF2. Man vs. Machine ARG. So Valve created an ARG for Team Fortress 2. It started off as some new items, and the descriptions of these items are: the witch may go on, the hidden wickedness may go on, year in year out, the deeds of the hellish cruelty and none the wiser, in such places and then there was this, and this. This ARG is pretty interesting and complex. The Commander. The Commander was a cut class from TF2. The Commander would have a bird's eye view of the map and be able to see players. The Commander could alert teammates of enemy players nearby and would be able to drop supplies. However, the Commander was cut because devs thought it would be pretty boring to play as him. Cancelled TV show. So around 2012, Valve and Adult Swim got to work on a TF2 show. However, Valve had refused to follow the guidelines that Adult Swim had requested that they follow, so the show was cancelled. However, the video expiration date was a recreation of what would have been the first episode of the TF2 series, and the comics could have also been actual episodes in the show. There have also been some fake posters of a TF2 show, but they have been confirmed to be fake. Team Fortress 1. So this one I'm not too sure about. Is Team Fortress 1 the first Team Fortress game made by Valve, which would be Team Fortress Classic? Or is it the first Team Fortress game in general, which would be Team Fortress, made in 1996? I'll let you decide. Madcap. Madcap is a cosmetic item in the workshop of TF2, and yeah, it's something, alright. Half-Life Cross Team Fortress 2 crossover game. So Half-Life Hostile Takeover was a cancelled expansion pack for Half-Life 1 and would have had the Team Fortress Classic Mercenaries in it. Another thing that I think that I should mention is that there's an item in TF2 called the ATSAP, which is pretty much Wheatley from Portal. The description says that they got it from GLaDOS, so this means that TF2 and Portal are in the same universe. And since Portal is in the same universe as Half-Life, this means that Half-Life, Portal, and TF2 are all in the same universe. TF2 code leak. So in 2020, code for both TF2 and CSGO was leaked to the internet. Nothing too serious happened with the leak, so you can still play TF2 and CSGO without a problem. Medic's past. Medic's past is mostly unknown. We know that he stole a dove from a Prime Minister's wedding, naming him Archimedes, and we know he lost his medical license. Now, it's possible that Medic was in World War II, since the game takes place in the 60s and Medic is 40 to 45 years old. And Medic is German, so that would make him a Yahtzee, but it is yet to be confirmed. All class grenades. Originally, each class was going to have their own hand grenade that you could throw at other players. It was removed because devs thought that players would rely on them too much and they would spam them. Brotherhood of Arms. Brotherhood of Arms was the original name for TF2, Team Fortress 2 Brotherhood of Arms, but it was removed. However, there is a cosmetic item in the game called Brotherhood of Arms, which is a nice nod to the development stage of the game. TF2 popularized loot boxes. TF2 did indeed popularize loot boxes, as loot boxes were blowing up in the 2010s, and TF2 was the first game to include loot boxes on a major scale. So you can thank TF2 for the reason why we have loot boxes. TF2 Invasion build. Invasion was another version of TF2 in development. It was originally going to focus on humans versus aliens. There is a build of this game that you can download and play. It only has one map and it resembles 2 Fort in the original TF2 game. Now, a lot of things in this build are just reuse assets from Half-Life 2 or other games. Item Schema Exploit. Item Schema Exploit was an exploit found by Game Master 1379. He managed to change the game's files so he could open a man-code supply crate for only 10 cents. He was able to do this for 4 years until Valve patched it. Single player campaign. Okay, I could not find a thing on TF2 single player campaign. The only thing I could find were people wanting a TF2 single player, or Miss Pauling's jobs, which are apparently called campaigns. So if anyone knows what this is referring to, please let me know. Valve hired Finance Minister of Greece as a consultant for TF2 hat economy. Yes, as crazy as it seems, Valve did hire an economist from Greece to better understand the in-game economies of hats and such. This has clearly benefited the game. Respawn Hypothesis. There's a theory saying that the reason why we respawn in TF2 instead of just staying dead is because the engineer modified the life-extending device so him and his teammates could zap back to the spawn room whenever they died. It's a pretty interesting theory and I'll link it below if you want to check it out. Scout could walk on water in early builds of the game. So in early builds of TF2, there was a glitch that would allow Scout to walk on water. Does this secretly mean that Scout is Jesus? RCE when joining TF2 community servers. So if you're not careful when joining a community server on TF2, you might get an RCE. For those of you who don't know what RCE is, it stands for Remote Code Execution, which will put malicious coding onto your computer and damage it. So be careful whenever you're joining a community server. Big Earner used to give 25 health on a kill. The Big Earner is a knife for spy in TF2. It used to be able to give you 25% health on a kill, but now just upgrades your cloak by 30%, which isn't that bad. 2 fort cows hold TF2 together. Okay, I'm pretty sure this one's just a joke entry, as there's no way that these cardboard cutouts of cows actually hold the entire game together. And that was part 2 of the Team Fortress 2 iceberg. We finally finished the entire iceberg. Again guys, if you haven't seen part 1, please go and check it out. I put a lot of time and effort into the video. And again, shout out to the original creator of this iceberg, Icon, who made this iceberg 3 months ago. Wow. Anyway fellas, it's December, so I'm going to be making some Christmas videos, and hopefully 15.ai will come back this month. And I'll also be working on the 2022 recap, so stay tuned for that. See ya fellas.